Is it fine if I turn on my camera on and off during the recording?
Oh, no, it's okay. So we're ready live. Thank you everyone for joining us today on the Google Plus Hangout for Channels Beam. I'm Victor Matthias as always, and today we're looking at a Google's product launch, which they actually did sometime in July of 2017. Of course, during that event, that's the Google for Nigeria event in Lagos, Google announced some features in its search application. And today we have someone from Google. We actually have Taiwo Kola Ogunlade, who is their comms and PR manager, West Africa, to shed more light on that app and why it was even, why that event was put together generally. Well, Taiwo, thanks for joining us today on the program.
It's good to be here, Victor. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So let's even begin with the app, the Google search application. Give us an overview of that app.
I mean, search is one of the things that we're known for at Google, is helping to provide the answers for anyone who's looking for questions around the world. So on a daily basis, people can go to Google to look for different things, how to make cakes, how to sew a dress, anything. And our job at Google is to help to provide those answers and make sure that every time you go looking for anything, that you find it. Pretty much. I mean, it's a very simple app. It's a very simple application, and it operates either on mobile or on desktop, depending on whatever it is you want.
All right. So very well. During the Google 2017 event in Nigeria, there was some announcements made on search. Can you read out some of those announcements made? I think there was a web lights and some other stuff.
Yeah. So for each of our countries, just to give a bit of context, for each of the countries that we go to, we try to localize and make sure that search works for them.
Sorry, if you can come again. Taiwo, you can come again.
Yeah. Okay. So just to give a bit of context into those announcements. So every time we are in a country, we try to make search work for them in that country. And we try to help the people who live within that country make use of search. One of the things that sort of plagues the use of the internet in this part of the world has been access, helping people get on the internet. And when they do get on the internet, helping them make sure that the products really work for them, regardless of the kind of connection that they have. So, hold on, Victor, there's noise coming from somewhere.
Okay, yeah, I've been trying to clean that out as well, but I think everyone else's mic is on mute. Okay, Blessing, if you can put it's from Blessing, if you can put your mic on mute, Blessing. Okay, she has done that now.
Okay, perfect.
So, yeah, all right, so go ahead, just start again.
Okay, so just to give a bit of context into the announcements that we made. In July of 2017, we held Google for Nigeria as part of our commitment to show that we are serious about Nigeria, we're listening to the users, and that we are committed to helping the users better use Google for whatever it is they need to do. So you go online, you want to search for anything, and that you're able to find the result. Or whenever you're online using any of our tools, that it works for you and it understands that you're in Nigeria and it gives you Nigerian-based answers. So in July, we announced the launch of different features in search. An example is Web Light. Web Light is, and these are very sort of technical names depending on who you're talking to, but it's very simple. Web Light, what it means is sometimes people go and search, assuming you're on Third Mainland Bridge, you're looking for something, you click on it. The internet is not very fast at that time, but we're able to sort of serve you an answer, show you an answer in using a lighter version of Google, you know, so that even if your connection is not great, you still get a response. And in many times, and as most of us know, the internet, the quality of the web can be sort of very flaky at times. We also announced what we call background retry, and I'm sure some of us, even on this call, would have experienced that as well. The background retry is sometimes you do a search, the internet doesn't work at that point, and you don't get the answer. We automatically give you that result immediately you come online. That's what background retry means. It means Google automatically retries and serves you that answer, even if you're not online. That's background retry. And you'd have to understand that these are features that are highly localized to countries like Nigeria, where the internet quality isn't that great. And even when it's great, it's very flaky at times. It comes on and it goes off. We also sort of announced localized content. This is, I think, my favorite announcement of all. Localized content. So an example, you're at home, there's a cinema close to you, you just go on the phone and you type in what movies are shown at the Ikeja cinema. And Google gives you those responses as easy. Or for those of us who love football, you click in there and you say, what's the score of the Enyimba Football Club match? We now service local football club matches as well, in addition to international ones as well. So that comes up too. Or you're interested in a Nollywood movie. You type in the name of the Nollywood movie. It could be Isoke 76, or whatever the Nollywood movie it is you're interested in. You type that in as well, and you find that in there. And then one of the ones that I'm most excited about is called Gboard. Gboard is, think about, a simpler definition for it is, you take Google and you put it inside your keyboard, so that every time you're using Google, you can use Google. Every time you're using your keyboard, you can use Google at the same time. Because a lot of us spend about 94% of the time that we spend on our phones, we spend typing messages, either on SMS, WhatsApp, BBM, Facebook, whatever it is that we're using. We spend a lot of the time typing messages. And because of that, people are usually going in and out. So you go on Google, you do a search. Where do we need to go on Google? You do a search for the address, you come back and you send it in WhatsApp. So we're trying to reduce that time that people spend going in and out of apps. So now Gboard works even within the app, and you can see that in the video that we'll be showing right now. And then the last is Google Post. Post at the moment allows sports celebrities, allows music stars, allows movie stars to share exactly directly into Google Search. So for those of us who are interested, you find out about what Wizkid is up to, or you find out what Bez is up to. At this moment, they can share directly into Google Search. So every time you search for them, it comes up on Google rather than waiting for whatever. It's Google posts on Google. That's how that works.
All right, thanks for that clarification. But then let me not be the one doing all the asking. Kolo, Kenneth, and Victoria might know are gentlemen, so I'll let Blessing kickstart the part of the questioning, from our panelists. Blessing, if you have a question for Tayo.
Hi, Blessing.
Okay, you need to unmute your mic first. Hello.
Hi, Blessing.
Hello, Blessing, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes, I can hear you.
So my question would be for people that this is designed for, because there are people that have been able to come up with creative ways or come up with or pay for MiFis or internet providers that are doing a good job now, at least. For people who really need this, who are browsing on networks that MTN, for example, 100 naira per day or all of that, are they aware that this exists?
So it's one of the reasons why we're on Victor's show. So we're constantly talking with different people, different groups. We're talking with the media. We're putting all this information out there so that a lot more people know. It doesn't make any sense launching a product that nobody knows. Yeah. So having this is one of the forums where we're trying to get a lot more people to know that even if, regardless of what your connection status is, you can use Google, and Google can work for you.
All right, thank you very much. Blessing, are you good with the...
Yeah, I just wanted a follow-up question. Do the pages get transcoded automatically, or do we have to request for it?
It's automatic. It's okay. So the default is always on. So if you try this, once you find yourself in So let's take a good example. For instance, you are taking a trip from Lagos to Ibadan, and then right in the middle of the way, right in the middle of the road, you try to do a search somewhere around Shagamu. The web doesn't work. Whenever you get to the next place where the internet automatically works, we serve you that result, regardless of either you requested for it or not. Or another example is you do a search and the internet, the quality of the internet at that time isn't great. We serve you a result using web. So you can easily browse the content that you want using a very low version, a lower version of Google that still makes it able for you to read the information that you're interested in. You usually would find that the result is search is usually the difference between sometimes between a person looking for a job and the person that has a job, or medical, or whatever the question is. You usually would find that these are sort of big moments in the lives of people who are using search. And we want to be there for them. We want to make it possible for them to be able to use Google whenever they need to.
All right. Let's get to hear from Victor Yoma, if you can hear me.
All right. Thank you. I can hear you. Thanks for the. I think I've experienced a bit of some of these features you already talked about. I mean, from just being very active on my mobile phone, I've been able to experience, I think, web lights. I'm able to experience localized content. I think, yeah, because for me, football more. Then I want to ask concerning posts on Google. Now, these celebrities, because I mean, what came to mind was for the team of these celebrities that handle their publicity, their promotions and the rest of it. I mean, it sounds like, for me, hearing that sounds like there's business there for them. If I'm thinking right, but from what question I want to ask is, how does that work? Now, do these celebrities need to sign up? Do they need to create an account? Or I mean, I'm saying,
okay.
All right, Yoma Victor, we're training.
Yeah, I mean, I get a sense of the. I think I understand the question.
All right, Yoma, we really can't hear you. We can't hear you, Yoma, so we'll just come back to you in a bit. But Kolo Kenneth is back from his little short break. Kolo, let's get to hear your own question for Taiwo. Kolo, are you there?
Yeah, Victor.
Yeah, all right. Let's Taiwo, just hold on. Let's get to hear from Kolo first, and then we'll get back to Victor again to ask his question before you respond. Kolo, go ahead, please. Yeah.
Okay, great. My questions on private and access. So for people who are in areas with very or access is quite expensive, web light come into play. I will mention that if I'm searching, I'm offline at that moment. Once I come back on, press the button refresh. The fact that I am able to also search on web lights is one catch. But what if I am in an area where is very limited for most of the time? How does Google play in to help me achieve the results that I want? The second one is privacy. Privacy and privacy. If you're having Gboard come into my keyboard, my text messaging, my WhatsApp, this means that what I am doing is being watched. It means that keywords that I use frequently are being noticed. So what does my privacy play in to this regard? When I search, sometimes I find results aligning towards places I have been to, or sites I have visited before. So in trying to give me better results, in trying to give me better experience using Google, privacy being compromised.
Okay, thanks for the question. Let me take it from the first question. The audio wasn't very clear, but I think I can take a stab at what I thought I heard. I think that it relates to, so it's automatic. Your device, based on the kind of quality that you get, you automatically get either shown a result based on the full version of Google search or a web-like version. So it's automatic. You don't need to do anything. It's almost the same as when you use Google Hangouts. How Hangouts automatically knows the quality of your video connection or the quality of your internet connection and uses that to define the kind of video that you see on Hangouts. Also the same when you use search now in Nigeria. So once you do your search, we automatically serve a result. It's even better, this web light as a feature is great for people who are based in areas where the quality of the internet isn't great at all. It's meant for them. If I'm in the office now, the internet quality is excellent, it's perfect. If I were on my way home on Third Mainland Bridge, there are parts of Third Mainland Bridge that the internet connection gets a bit flaky. Sometimes I do a search there and I see that the result I get is powered by, is built around web light. So it's automatic. The concept of the web and how we at Google see Google and also the internet. The internet should be for everyone, regardless of the kind of device that you use or the state of your connection. The internet is an enabler. It's a tool that helps to empower everyone. And the number of people that we're able to get to be able to use Google as a search tool, the better for everyone. And that's why we're quite proud and we're quite excited about the possibilities that web light brings. The second question relating to privacy, everything you do around your device is local. It's local to just you. Yeah, so if you type whatever it is you're typing on your keyboard, your responses are local to you. We don't sort of get your results. It comes to you. If you take the device now and you try it out, you understand what I mean. It's quite easy. So your results and everything that you do are localized for you at the moment. Are localized for you, yeah. Are localized on your device. So whatever it is, a person needs to get your device to be able to access what you're doing on Gboard. It's quite different. The experience is quite different from, and I understand what you mean by sometimes you do a search and you find the results. They're called caches. And caches are also, they're stored on your computer to help ensure that your experience of the internet is relevant to you. There's no point you going online and you keep seeing content that is around alcohol if you don't drink alcohol. Yeah, or you're not interested in Gucci's, you keep getting content that are around Gucci. So caches, the concept of having caches is to make the web useful to you and more relevant to you. It's not about, so again, it's not about privacy because everything is localized on your device. You can choose to wipe it. You can choose to go into your Google profile settings and say that you don't want it to pick to serve you information based on your cache information. You can choose to do that, but that's all left to you. You can choose not to sign in, for instance, so that every time you do a search, it's anonymized. Yeah, but a lot of the time, you get the best out of Google when you're signed in. when we know you, who you are. We don't know you as a person, but we know the device. We know that this person who uses this device is interested in MacBook computers. And so we can show you results relating to and that are relevant to you. And that's, but Gboard is entirely different. It's entirely stored on your device.
All right, follow up or?
To make reference, if I'm to make reference to the first question regards the web light and thingy. You live in a place like Moog or Karanamoda, you might understand what I mean by limited internet access. It's different if you have very perfect internet at work and at home, and while you're in transit, it is shaky. But if you are having to deal with terrible internet access of the day, then you might begin to understand why I'm asking this. Another example is if I am traveling between Jos, for example, and Gidanwaya, at a point before you descend into forest, you begin to lose internet access, no matter whom the service provider is. So, does this mean I am traveling till I get to Gidanwaya, I won't be able to run any search, or the web light is coming in to solve this?
So there are two absolutely different things here. One is can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay, so there are absolutely two different things here. One is web lights, and the other is background retry. As I said, background retry. There are times when you're online, or there are times when you're online, you try to do a search, and the internet on your phone just does not work. What happens is Google automatically retries for you the moment you get internet connection. So it's different. So we do understand that there are times when you will not be online, even though you try to do a search. What usually you would find out is, and let me give you an example. Taiwo is going to an interview. He's right in the middle of nowhere, the internet goes away, and he had done a search already, he didn't get a result. But just before I walk into the door of the place where I'm going to be interviewed, I get internet connection, and Google automatically serves me that result quickly, just in time for me to walk into the interview space. Else, the other alternative would be you do the search, it doesn't come up. By the time you get to your interview, you've forgotten and you just walk in. Right? So we're trying to make sure that regardless of your connection type, you're still able to get internet connection. And I do understand that there are many parts of the country where the internet is pretty bad. And our work at Google is to try to ensure that regardless of what kind of connection you're on, and it's an online work, it's an ongoing work. We're not done by any means. We'll try to. Our vision is to make sure a lot more people around the country get to use Google, and that it's useful for them. Web lights as a feature is different. What web light means is your internet connection isn't great, regardless of the time, either the entire day or just at this moment. Regardless, the moment you do a search and the moment you're trying to use Google, once we find out your internet connection isn't great and cannot serve you the rich type with all the images and everything else, we serve you a light version of it. So even though your connection is not great, you're still able to get the results that you want and get the responses that you want at that time. So either you're not connected, of which will then come back to you when you're connected and give you a result, or when you're connected, the internet is not great, we'll serve you a version that easily works for the type of connection that you want. And that's sort of like the difference between the two.
Okay.
All right.
So do these products automatically get added to my bouquet of Google products? Nothing else to.
So if you do have Google running on your device, it's automatic. It's automatic, and we are always pushing up updates as well to the Google app if you have the Google app running on your device. So a lot of those things just run automatically from your device.
All right. Thank you for the questions, Kolo. Thank you for answering as well. Taiwo, but Yoma Victor is back again. Let's hope his internet will let him be quick. Let me just use that. Exactly. That's great. Yeah, Victor. All right. We're back to you again. Earlier on, we couldn't hear you, so we had to move on to Kolo just to get his own questions. But I hope we can hear you at this moment.
Hi, Victor.
Okay. I'm sorry. Victor has fallen off the Hangout again. Okay, but I think Blessing is coming up. Blessing, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. I was going to ask about the Gboard. Does it appear on your keyboard, or how exactly does it work? Because you're saying that I can I can just click Google button.
Yeah.
When talking to my friend, and then so where does that Google button show up?
I'll try to answer the question. It depends on what kind of device you use. And in either case, you can download, if you don't have Gboard. Gboard is very easy, and you'd see an image right on the screen just now. You can download Gboard from either the Apple Store or on the Google Play Store. So you go to any of the two stores, you type in Gboard, you download it, you install it, and you make it your default keyboard. So every time you then try to type anything on keyboard, you'll be using Gboard rather than the keyboard that comes with your device. At the moment, so an example, a lot of Nigerians use Samsung as their device. I currently also use Samsung as well. So I had to go download Gboard from the Play Store, and I installed it, and it works on my Samsung as well. The great thing is about Gboard is one of the first apps that we launched first on the Apple Store. So for those iPhone users, iPhone lovers, and loyal iPhone fans, Gboard is also available if you want to use it. So you can just download it on the Play Store, and it works for you perfectly. The great thing, I think one of the good things that I love the more about Gboard, Victor, is that I have an uncle who's currently talking to me every time about you guys never speak Yoruba. You guys don't understand Yoruba. Every time he sends me a message, he's always typing in like a local language to say, Bawoni. And then whenever I respond and I say, I'm fine, sir, he says, no, you have to respond in Yoruba. So now Gboard allows me to do that. There's a feature in Gboard that allows you to automatically translate, which is so great. You type in English and it automatically translates to the language. So we have English, we have Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo. The three major languages are available right now on the app. And you can also translate to all the other languages available on Google Translate as well. So over almost 100 languages available on it. So you can make yourself look like a French whiskey by using Gboard. You just type and it's real time. It automatically, as you see on the screen, it automatically sends a translation even though you are typing in English to the person. I love that.
Thank you very much, Tyrell. One last thing, sorry, Victor. One last thing. So I noticed also using my mobile, I get to see the web light feature, but it doesn't replicate on my desktop or on my iPad. So is that on purpose?
Web light is on mobile. It's for
strictly
mobile devices. Yeah.
Only. Okay, great.
Yeah, it's for mobile
devices.
Just
needed to be sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, let's Yoma Victor is back again. He's been going on and off. I think internet issues, but I hope we can hear him now. Yoma Victor, if you can hear me.
And WebLight, just before Victor asks his question, WebLight is also for low RAM devices. For those of us who buy devices that are low RAM, WebLight works perfect for that as well. Yeah, I apologize. Just Victor, you can ask your question.
All right, Victor, we can hear you.
All right, this is yeah. All right. Okay, great. I was my question earlier. Sorry you couldn't hear me. Was on posts on Google. I was asking how it worked because for me, what I see is opportunity for people that want to, I mean, celebrities, public figures that want to market, you know, those kind of things. So how does it work? Do you need to get an email that post on your channel? I mean, if you look at the email, you will find a stick to market and opportunities there for them. So how does posts on Google work? Do people need to, do they need to, or is something anybody can take advantage of? You have to be a celebrity first or whatever. So just more light on that.
Okay. All right, perfect. I think that's an excellent question. So first of all, Nigeria is the third country in the world to have Gboard, to have Google Posts. It was originally in Brazil and the US. Nigeria is the third. In Nigeria, it's currently open to musicians, music stars, Nollywood stars, and sports stars at the moment. And in other parts of the world, I think in the US, it's currently open to small businesses, small business owners. So if you're a small business operating, if you were in the US, you'd be able to use it. So that sort of answers your question. And considering that it's a new product, we're currently testing how people are using that. Yeah. So the more people that use it, the more we learn, the more we're able to sort of fine tune this to help a lot more people and help them to use this a bit more. The second question relating to how do you use it, at the moment you have to apply for it. So you go to posts.google.com and you apply for it. It's a very lovely site, very, very user-friendly as well. You go there, it explains a bit more about posts to you, and then you sort of, when you go there, you register and then you come in. Indeed, you are right. It will be useful to agencies that support celebrities as well. It will be useful to agencies that support either sports stars or any of the categories that are currently able to use this. So all they need to do is just go to post.google.com and then you register and we sort of verify. Because what it means is that you get verified. As you will see from the images that will show on the screen, you get verified with a tick and your results go directly on Google search. So that every time people search for the celebrity, that piece of information comes out to say, hey, I'm currently boarding a plane, I'm going to Abuja, I have a show tonight, or hey guys, I took this picture from the stage, or maybe it can be a video, regardless. So once people click on it, it shows them a pop-up page that is absolutely lovely and looks very nice. So it's us trying to make sure that the web is relevant and that it's very recent. We want to hear directly from the people and hear what exactly they're up to and know what exactly they're doing. Yeah, I hope that helps.
So Tayo,
all right, Kolo, just before you, I wanted to ask, when would that feature be available for TV for news anchors and TV presenters? Come on, I think that's
it's good. Victor, you know very much that we love the media.
Yeah, I have to question my constituency.
We are currently working on that. We are working on that. I can't give a timeline at the moment, but we're working on that. It was one of the things that we discussed. I discussed with a couple of media people at the meeting we had last week. We're currently working on that. Don't worry, we have you here.
All right. So again, I was going to ask. Sorry, Kolo. Let me just flip through this. Google has also made a promise to train about millions of Nigerians or Africans, you know, to get on the web or to get on the net. How is that going to happen?
So last year we made a commitment to train 1 million people on digital skills across the continent. We do know that the internet is an enabler. When people go online,
all right. So
when people go online, they're open to a lot more choices. They're able to decide and make better decisions. And
sorry,
the internet is
sorry, Taiwan. If you take that question again, there was a bit of interruption.
Okay. So yes, last year we made a commitment to train 1 million people on digital skills across the continent, and of that, in 1 million, we were able to train 500 people in Nigeria. Young people trying to create their own jobs or trying to get jobs via digital skills. So we have lots of good examples of people who sort of started their own agencies, are now supporting small businesses or people who were able to get jobs because of the new skill, digital skill they learned. And we announced in February of this year that we had hit that 1 million number. And so we decided we'll do it a bit more, and we'll do more. So we launched the new announcement we made in July was that we're going to train 10 million people. Africa needs it, and the web is going to change the fortunes of Africa. It's estimated that over 70% of the people who live within the continent are young, and the more we're able to get a lot more of them educated about how the web works, the more they're able to take advantage of the opportunities the web provides. So we're very excited to be doing that. That's currently going on. A lot of the trainings we do either working directly with partners. We have a number of training partners that we're working with, or we're also working with organizations, corporate bodies, to ensure that we're able to reach a lot more people. We know that 10 million is a big number and it's an ambitious number, but it's one that we're happy to take on.
All right, we'll be waiting to see how that will play out eventually. But then Kolo was also going to ask a question before I came in. Kolo, you can now go on.
Regards to posts.
Sorry, if you can come again. If you can come again.
Yes. So regards to Google Posts, I want to know if this is open to the various publics, because I understand that in the northern part of Nigeria you'd have a catch because of the language preferences. So if I were an athlete or a musician who is doing my work in Hausa or any of the local languages in the north, to sign up and reach my audience as well. If I were a poet, a well-versed poet in the north, but I do this in Hausa or Kanuri, would it be available for me to use? Then the other question is, post relevant for politicians, for public service officials in government, or be relevant for elections? And then again, will it be relevant for advocacy and for organizations in the development sector that need to use this as a channel or an avenue for people for the works that they do in local communities?
Okay, thanks for the question. The first one, so one thing that you should know about Post is that Post works directly with your knowledge panel. If you know what a knowledge panel is, sometimes you go on Google and you do a search, then on the side you see a box that contains a picture and contains some results either from Wikipedia or whatever, contains a social media page. So when you do a search, it will show on the screen just now. So once you do a search on Google, so for instance, if you search for a popular person or a celebrity, the president of Nigeria, whatever, you get a knowledge panel. So Post works exactly directly with the knowledge panel. All it takes is once you're verified, you must have a knowledge panel running, and that allows you to be able to have your results. So regardless, it doesn't, you know, at the moment, it doesn't matter what language you do your job or you do your post in. Once you're verified and you have a knowledge panel, your post will show regardless of whatever language that you speak. So it's not language based. Yeah, it's not language based. At the moment, everyone in Nigeria can get to see when you post something using Google Post and you're verified. So it doesn't matter what language you speak or where you're based, as long as you're verified to post and you do the post, people will see it. That's the first question. The second question relates to, I'm trying to remember. I like the first question so much, I forgot the second question.
It's going to be relevant for politics, government officials.
Oh yes, yeah, oh, definitely. I think one of the best examples that I've seen of Post being used was when it was used for the US elections. So again, you can either, and I think we are just sort of getting there. The possibilities of what is the realms of what is possible with this product is still wide. You know, at the moment you can also, when you during some of those past the past US election, the one that just finished, you are able to see post by. So if you do a search hashtag US elections, you usually will get a result that will come up. Or maybe during the World Cup, or during sort of big events, you can do a hashtag World Cup and you see what popular people who are verified on post are saying about that subject. So again, it's a relatively new product that those of us at Google are still trying to see how we can expand and make it a lot more attractive. But in Nigeria at the moment, it's only open to musicians, actors, and musicians, actors, and sports personalities.
The next set of people should be news anchors.
We are working on that, Victor. We love news anchors very much.
All right.
The third question was around advocacy.
Okay.
Advocacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen, of course, there is a use for it in advocacy, yeah? There is a use for it in advocacy. Again, at the end of the day, it depends on who is advocating. Yeah, all it takes is being verified. Once you're verified, you can use it. So for instance, I know that people like Omotola, the movie star Omotola, she does a bit of advocacy herself. So, and she's also a movie star. So if Omotola posts stuff about the advocacy work that she's doing, it will come up on Google Posts. So again, it depends. You have to apply, and I don't think I think it's not done on a one size fits all model. It's done on a case by case. You have to apply, and there's a team that sits and will verify. And once you're verified, you're able to apply. But at the moment, it's only open to star music, stars, the actors, and the sports stars.
Organizations like Amnesty International or UNICEF or any of the key agencies doing humanitarian.
I'm sure at some point it's going to be open. I'm sure at some point it's going to be open. It's going to be available to them as well. Again, you're right. There's a big use for posts in sort of advocacy, humanitarian areas like that. So yes, it's a very new product and it's still just emerging, and we're just seeing the possibilities of what this can become. And we're on the lookout for that as well. And we're happy to get suggestions as well. So you can click on the feedback button and right at the bottom of the knowledge panel and put that in there, and we'll be happy to take a look at it.
All right, we're running out of time. We need to conclude this session. But Yama, Victor, let me come to you. If you have another question, which should be in closing, of course, before we go to Blessing also to get some questions from her own end. Victor? All right, Victor isn't there. Blessing, you had earlier indicated that you have a question. Can we take that now?
Yes, my question is about the sixth thing that was launched, which is the Get Symptoms and Treatment for Various Ailments with Local Health Search, right? Yes. So I wanted to find out, does that in any way, are you not afraid that that's going to alleviate, what do they call now, increase our level of self-medication? Because that worries me. We already do that to a great deal. And don't you think this particular product is encouraging that?
So it's a good question. One thing that we found out, one of the top trends that we found out on search, is that 20% of the searches, 1 in every 20 searches on Google is health related. Think about that. 1 in 20 searches on Google, that's 20% of the billions of searches on Google is health related. People are going on search to find out information about, what does Ebola mean? Or what does Lassa fever mean? Or what does malaria mean? Or those sort of things. We give you the results based on, and again, we didn't come up with these results alone. We worked in partnership in Nigeria. We worked in partnership with the University of Ibadan, to come up with sort of classification for all these 800. The question which you got, it doesn't diagnose you. It defines, it gives you information on the health condition that you asked the question about. So you can either ask about what is tuberculosis or what is HIV. And we'll define that for you and also be able to give you a few stats that are related to Nigeria. But it doesn't diagnose, it doesn't say, oh, you have a headache, so it's cancer of the nose or whatever. It doesn't do that. And we don't want to get into the business of advising people on what is wrong with them. We only give you information about sort of health conditions when you go onto Google and you type in. At the moment, we have 800 health conditions working and verified that we did in partnership with the University of Ghana, which we're very proud of. So you can also see that on the screen. So you go there, you type that in. Coincidentally, that was announced last week. That's the newest of all the announcements that we made. And we're sort of proud to see the sort of responses that we're getting from people about that as well. Also works based on knowledge panel. So because we also don't want you spending time trying to read and find out stuff, so you see a knowledge panel on the right-hand side of your screen. If you're using your mobile, it's at the top. Once you do the site, it's at the top. You see an image defining that sort of explains what that looks like with a brief explanation about the health condition that you're asking a question about.
Okay, yes, thank you so much. So finally, I work in a digital firm, and
Okay.
and I am worried about the my ads when web lights. Does that affect my ads?
I can barely.
Okay, he didn't get that question. Can you come again, Blessing?
I work with a digital firm. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Hello?
You can hear you. Go ahead, Blessing.
Okay, great. Thank you. So I work in a digital firm and I am worried. Will this affect my ad revenue in any way? Will it affect my ad?
No, it doesn't affect your ads. So if the moment if they're able to, if it loads on time, they get to see your ads. Again, you think about this. At the end of the day, it doesn't make any. It doesn't work very well for advertisers if your ads are not showing properly. Yeah.
Sure.
So it's exactly one of the reasons why it's extremely important that we try to see that the format in which the ads are appearing on the device, that appears well. If it's text-based advertising, then it can easily be seen. But if it's graphic-based, chances are that the person would not see it while using web light. But if they're using on the normal Google, they'll be able to see it. But that's a really
okay. So text ads will be transcoded.
Yes, text ads will be. You'll see the text ad. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today on the program. That's all we can take. It's been 1 hour or more educative and informative conversation between Taiwo Ogunlade, Blessing Abeng, Victor Yoma, and Kenneth Golo Kadiri as well. But then thank you very much for joining us, all of you. And also we see those of you who are watching via YouTube stream. Sorry we couldn't take some questions from that platform. But then thank you very much for joining us, for watching, of course. But then it's a Google Plus Hangout for Channels Beam. And I am Victor Matthias.
Thank you. Bye.